global supply chain disruptions, such as Japan's semiconductor export restriction, China's urea export restriction, and the U.S. tariff policy, have intensified into geopolitical power struggles, significantly impacting domestic industries in Korea. Export restrictions on specific items, in particular, often create ripple effects, impacting not only the directly affected industry, but also upstream and downstream sectors. Recognizing these challenges, the Korean government has consistently introduced policies to stabilize supply chains, culminating in concrete countermeasures. This includes the Special Act on Strengthening the Competitiveness of the Materials, Parts, and Equipment Industries and Stabilizing Supply Chains, and the 3050 Industrial Supply Chain Strategy, which marks a new paradigm in supply chain policy. In June 2023, the Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Energy designated the Supply Chain Center for the Materials, Parts, and Equipment Industry to comprehensively support supply chain stabilization. The designated center comprises the Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency, the Korea Association of Machinery Industry, and the Korea International Trade Association. It is tasked with collecting, analyzing, and disseminating supply chain data, operating the early warning system, and implementing various stabilization support programs. Additionally, the EWS, operated by Kwame, serves as a platform to swiftly detect and respond to supply chain risks for critical items. By integrating artificial intelligence and big data, the EWS aims to proactively mitigate potential supply chain disruptions. So, how the early warning system works during a supply chain crisis. The EWS plays a role throughout the entire supply chain analysis process, including anomaly detection, potential risk monitoring, alerting related agencies, and crisis response. Based on an AI-powered risk assessment model developed by Kwame, the system analyzes quantitative data every 10 days to detect anomalies in the supply of critical items. In addition, customs bulletin data from 32 overseas sites across 9 countries is reviewed twice daily to gather impactful foreign trade insights. KOTRA, leveraging its global trade offices, contributes qualitative information by monitoring international news and local supply-demand trends. All of this information is integrated into the early warning system. Using the collected quantitative and qualitative data, the MPE Supply Chain Center determines the final risk level. If the assessment indicates a potential supply issue within Korea, the government swiftly alerts relevant ministries and industry stakeholders. Once alerted, these stakeholders conduct a comprehensive impact analysis. This is where the system's data mart plays a critical role. By accessing real-time hotline data for each item, authorities can quickly contact domestic companies. The data mart also provides information on global trade volumes, country-specific dependencies, private sector inventory levels, and national reserves, contributing to the development of an in-depth analysis report. Subsequently, the government, in collaboration with the private sector, convenes an industrial supply chain council to assess the domestic impact. To address long-term risks, it also explores options such as expanding reserves, adopting new technologies, and promoting domestic production through R&D. Furthermore, it implements various policy measures, including technical support for supply chain stabilization, diversification of import sources, rental of reserve materials, and stabilization fund programs. In an increasingly uncertain global environment, developing a strategic approach to supply chain security is more important than ever. The government and its affiliated institutions will continue their efforts to achieve a resilient and stable industrial supply chain. Thank you.